Hello and welcome to the stream. Welcome to Getting Spooky with It. I've got two games for you today, an indie game called Kiosk, and starting out, we're going to start this stream out with Haunted Castle. Now, the original Haunted Castle is an arcade game by Konami. It's actually a Castlevania game, and I've never played it myself, but apparently it is really bad. Bizarrely enough, Haunted Castle got a remake, complete remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, on the Castlevania Dominus collection, which is how I'm going to be playing it. And this is the first new Castlevania game since, I want to say, Castlevania Adventure Rebirth for WiiWare, which was several years ago. I want to say that came out in, I don't know, 2009, 2010. So this is the first classic vintage Castlevania game in a very long time. And again, I've never played the original Haunted Castle. I've heard it's awful. It's like a really bad arcade game. But this remake is apparently pretty cool. I don't know what compelled Konami to remake Haunted Castle, but yeah, we're going to be checking it out here. And then we've got an indie game called Kiosk, which I wanted to check out. So let's go. What's happening, IT Rights? Welcome to the stream. Haunted Castle Revisited by Konami. The first new classic vintage style OG original gangster Castlevania game in a very long time. I don't know why it was included in the Castlevania Dominus collection and not released on its own, but I got this collection solely so I could play Haunted Castle Revisited. Let me turn the volume up on my end real quick. It's very quiet. Hopefully the audio is good on your end as well. Let me know if I need to turn it up or down. So I don't know if this is an entirely original game or if it's going to be a remake of Castlevania 1. I like the sprite work already. Kind of looks like Castlevania Chronicles on PS1, I think it was called. There was a MSX PS1 Castlevania remake that came out back in the 90s, and the sprite work in this is very similar to that. But this is a pretty early Castlevania title in the grand scheme of things. 1987. I'm playing as Simon Belmont, but with blue hair this time, not the blonde He-Man hair or the Ayami Kojima like red hair that he's depicted with in the Japanese illustrations. This is pretty cool though. I believe the original Haunted Castle was also included, so we might check that out after we play this remaster here. I'm a pretty big Castlevania fan, but if you know me, you know that I'm one of those weirdos. I actually like the older Castlevania games more than the Metroidvanias, me personally. The Metroidvanias are good. Harmony of Dissonance, Symphony of the Night, Circle of the Moon. Those games are good too, but the OG classic Castlevania games, this is my bread and butter. Castlevania 1 is my favorite game in the series. There's something about that first Castlevania that's just so good. Jump arc isn't as stiff as it is in the old Castlevania games. You can kind of adjust your jump a little bit, which is nice. I don't know how the knockback is. Let's see. Let's get hit by an enemy. That's still a little knockback, but that's classic Castlevania gameplay right there. It wouldn't be OG Castlevania if you didn't go flying 5 feet away every time you got hit by an enemy. Up and attack is how you use your items, much like with the original Castlevania games as well. Some people would go to bat for Castlevania Rondo of Blood, some people would go to bat for Super Castlevania 4, and those games are great as well, but I think the original Castlevania is one of the best NES games and one of the best platformers ever made. I think Castlevania 1 is the best game in the series. So far, this feels really good to play, but this is the remastered version, so we'll boot up the original Haunted Castle to see how it fares. The walking animation is better in this version. In the arcade version, it looks like he has a tummy ache. Yeah, the Belmonts in the NES Castlevania games, they kind of walk like they shit in their pants. It's very funny. Can I destroy these Evil Dead trees? I don't know if I can. I'm doing nothing with my vampire killer. There's some motion tweening with some of the animations, which I don't mind, but that's the one criticism I have with the visuals so far. Like the little teeny bit of motion tweening, but this looks really good. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last Classicvania, which is what I like to call them, the last Classicvania game that we got was Castlevania Adventure Rebirth for WiiWare, and that was technically a remake of a Game Boy game. I guess this is a remake of an old arcade game, so it's not entirely original, but 100% agreed about Castlevania 1 on NES. Yeah, Castlevania 1 is such a good game, and a game that you can, much like Splatterhouse, you can master it. Truthfully, you can master it. Oh, I ran out of time. I didn't even notice there was a time limit up there. I'll close my window. There's some birds screeching outside my window. They keep their glutens clinched. That's true, they're fighting some scary-ass monsters here. I wish I had the axe. I wish I had the axe. Give me an axe, please. No, but we get an upgrade to the vampire killer. We're gonna play Castlevania 1 later this month. That's October tradition. I replay Castlevania 1 every year, so we're gonna do that probably on Halloween, or maybe the day before Halloween, towards the end of the month. The enemy patterns are also super telegraphed in this game so far, which I can appreciate that. Same thing with the older Castlevania games. The enemies could give you trouble, especially the Medusa heads that fly in a sine wave, but they were pretty telegraphed, at least compared to the likes of Ninja Gaiden. Come on, Medusa! Just damage boost. Just go for it! There we go. Hey Vila, welcome to the stream. The Medusa has a head and a body. Yeah, no flying sine wave Medusa heads. I kind of wish that Konami released this as its own thing for like 10 bucks, a little digital title, because it was neat that they remade it, but tying it to the Dominus collection is really weird. I didn't even know this game existed until a friend of mine informed me about it, and then I was like, okay, well, I don't really care for the other games in the Dominus collection. I bought this solely for Haunted Castle Revisited. Actually, I didn't buy this. Azura in chat gifted it to me. Thankfully, it was on sale. I think it was on sale for like 15 bucks, so... But considering this is the first new Classicvania game in a very long time, I think Konami kind of fumbled it by not releasing it on its own and marketing it. This could have been a big deal. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, and again, I didn't know it existed until one of my friends told me. But this is cool so far. I dig the sprite work. Kind of looks like something you would see on the MSX. Or like, I don't know, one of those home computers. You can beat Castlevania 1 and keep the 3x cross after beating Dracula, and you keep it in the second quest. My strat for Dracula in Castlevania 1 is pause buffering. Because if you pause buffer before he teleports to you, it makes it a lot easier. And then for the Grim Reaper fight in the stage before it, the Grim Reaper fight is like impossible unless you have 3x holy water. When I played Castlevania 1 on the Wii Virtual Console as a kid, I didn't even know what the Roman numeral items did. Like the Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3, but it allows you to throw more items. I figured that out way later. Way later I figured that out, but with the Roman numeral 3 upgrade and the holy water, the Grim Reaper fight goes from being the second hardest fight in the game to a total cakewalk. So this is a level from Castlevania 1. I think this is the 3rd or 4th level with the fishmen, the underground like tunnel area. So maybe this is part of a reimagining of Castlevania 1, part original. I'm not sure. Going into this pretty much completely blind, so. Hey Azura, welcome to the stream. If it weren't for Azura, this stream would not exist. Yeah, this seems to be a hodgepodge of remixed Castlevania 1 elements. I don't think any Castlevania game will ever top the first one for me personally, but this is really good so far. Yeah, how's chat doing? Hope everyone's doing well. It was a beautiful day today where I live. I went for a walk, and now we're slaying some monsters, some ghouls and goblins. No ghosts and goblins though. That was Capcom. Okay. This kind of reminds me of that one level from Castlevania 4. Some people don't like the stiffness of the old NES Castlevania games, but that's what I like about them. The stiffness, by the way, is not present here. This controls very buttery smooth, and you can even adjust your jump arc a little bit. But if I were to describe the original NES Castlevania games in one word, it would be telegraphed. The games are hard, but they're not bullshit. Castlevania 1, well, Castlevania 3 is bullshit, but I'll talk about that some other time. But Castlevania 1 in particular is very telegraphed, and if you learn to pick your spots and just master where everything goes, like where the enemies spawn, where the items spawn, some of the items are random, but some of them are static. The enemy patterns, the boss patterns, you can master Castlevania 1. And I wouldn't say that I've mastered it. It still like kicks my ass, but I've beaten it a bunch of times. And again, we're gonna stream it towards the end of the month. Boomerang? Oh, it's like the Holy Cross, okay. Oh, I thought I could have jumped on that. Wait a minute. That's not a platform? Surely you jest. I seriously can't jump on that? No, I guess not. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, that was where I came from. This is the beginning of the area. Got that streamer tunnel vision. Wasn't even paying attention. But I do enjoy the Metroidvania Castlevania games a fair bit. Symphony of the Night is, in particular, an all-time classic, but yeah, I prefer the classic Vania games. I wish we got more of these, but there are, thankfully, quite a number of indie games that recreate that classic Vania gameplay formula. I think Bloodstained got an 8-bit, like, little 8-bit type game that was very in lieu of NES Castlevania. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, I think it was called. And that's, aside from this, the closest thing we've gotten to a new Castlevania game. Every character in every game play how they are supposed to canon-wise. Castlevania 1 Simon is a stiff mountain of meat. Yeah, that's true. He is a beef McChunk steak. And then they made the later characters a bit more agile. But for me, the stiffness of the NES Castlevania games is part of the charm. You have to surgically play each level, like, you gotta be perfect. You get hit by one monster or you make one wrong jump and you're dead. Like this water here, if this was NES Castlevania, it would be a one-hit kill. But thankfully here, it just does a little bit of damage. It's a little more forgiving. Can I walk up this guy? Oh, I didn't even realize he's a staircase. That's awesome. How's the audio sound, by the way? Is the game too loud? Get those hearts. I need that ammunition. It makes me so sad that in Smash Bros. Ultimate, people ignored Simon for Richter. Simon, I love him with his He-Man looking ass. People played as Richter because he's the cute anime boy. But I was like, nah, give me Simon Belmont. Beef McChunk Steak. He-Man Dracula Killer. I do like his Japanese design. I'll show it off whenever we take a BRB. It's very different from his North American appearance. It's very, very beautiful. The Ayami Kojima, like those official illustrations. But He-Man Simon will always be, that's my Simon Belmont. By the power of Grayskull! Hey Corey, welcome. I wish Konami, like, actually marketed this game. I don't really care about any of the games featured in the Dominus collection, but the fact that they made a brand new Castlevania game, essentially, and they didn't advertise it at all. What are we doing here, Konami? You made the first new, semi-new, it's a remake, but the first new Castlevania game in well over a decade, and I didn't even know about it. Audio sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Smash Players says Richter is ass, but Simon bodies. I mean, it's true. They may be clones or echo fighters, as they coined the term. Oh, there's a timer on the whip upgrade. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, Simon, I always like Simon more than Richter. Wait, we got the boomerang and the holy... Okay, the Holy Cross is different in this game. It's like a screen nuke. Took a lot of my hearts, too. Yeah, it broke my heart in Smash Ultimate. Nobody cared about Simon. I wish I had my axe. Whoops. Oh, man, it would be nice to have my axe. Hey, SEO, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Into kart racing games. Yeah, I love kart racing games. Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing. How am I gonna... I'm gonna fall into the... Wait, there is no water. I was worried about falling into the water. There wasn't even any water. I'm on land. You found an amazing one? What's it called? Look at that reflection effect. Graphics. A sea serpent. I really wish I had my axe for this. Oh god. Whip upgrade. Let's make haste while we got it. Got him. There we go. Carters 2? Nomu in chat. One of my chat members actually did a video on Carters 2 and it looks really cool. The modding support looks insane. Maybe if it goes on sale, I'll pick it up, but it looks neat. I watched Nomu stream it and he did a review of it and it does look like CTR. It pretty much looks like Mugen, the fighting game engine, but for kart racers, from what I've seen of it. Ooh, Bloody Tears. It's like 20 or 30 bucks, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, if I can scoop it on sale, I'll pick it up. Chat, Bloody Tears or Vampire Killer? What's the better song? Say what you want about Castlevania 2 on NES, but it had a banging soundtrack. And the graphics were great too. For a relatively early NES game, the visuals in Castlevania 2 are great. Very dark and moody. Honestly, Castlevania 2 isn't as bad as people say it is. I plan on streaming it one of these days, but it's really cryptic, and it was basically like made to sell Nintendo Power subscriptions, but Castlevania 2 is not as bad as people make it out to be. Man, Konami, you have so many good IPs. Castlevania, Contra, Metal Gear, Rocket Knight, Silent Hill. Why did Konami have to take the power of... They had to go to the dark side and make pachinko machines. Chicken. I don't know if I want the boomerang. I'm gonna keep the axe. The visuals in this game remind me of Castlevania Chronicles so hard. People forget about that game. I think Symphony of the Night is more ubiquitous. But there was a pretty cool Castlevania 1 remake for the PlayStation. It wasn't originally on PlayStation. I think originally it was a MSX game. Hey Flamingo, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this castle is pretty scary. Viewer discretion is advised. Viewer beware. You're in for a scare. Whenever I hear Vampire Killer, I just think of freaking Brental Floss. Brental Floss, with some of these video game tunes, it irrevocably burned itself into my brain. I remember there's a part of the song where he's talking about Dracula's penis. Dracula, I will attack you, bruh. I'll lay the smacula. That looks like an alternate path up there, but I couldn't jump that far. Brentilda from Banjo-Kazooie. Co-linked me a pretty cool Banjo-Kazooie Halloween ROM hack that's apparently coming out on Halloween, so maybe we'll get a last-minute stream in on the 31st. Oh, that's how I get up there. Silly me, overcomplicating things. Yeah, this is really good. I think it's very strange that it is tied to the Castlevania Dominus collection, but this is really good. It's better than any indie Castlevania throwback that I've played, and I've played a lot of good ones. But this is that classic Castlevania good. Oh. Dracula, I will attack you, bruh. MF Doom? MF Doom. What about MF Doom? Do, that's an audio daily double. Rappers need to fall off just to save me the trouble, yo. I think my favorite video game bar in a rap song is off Press Rewind by Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Bro references Kid Icarus. Split your wig like Kid Icarus. And that was a rap song from the 90s. It was years before internet nerdcore. It was way before the likes of Brental Floss or Dwayne and Brando. Dracula Smacula. Doesn't Simon use a sword in the original Haunted Castle arcade game? I guess we're gonna find out, because I'm gonna play it after we beat this. Maybe not the whole thing, but I want to check out the original Haunted Castle. Because I've heard it's really, really bad, and I want to see how bad. You got knights, you got eyeballs, you got cute ghost girls. Everything a growing vampire killer needs. You can pick a sword up. I want to see that, because the mental image of Simon wielding a sword is so wrong. Bam, bam, bam. This is really stupid, but do you think anybody's ever made a ROM hack of a Castlevania game? But they replace the protagonist, whichever Belmont is the protagonist of whichever game. Do you think anybody's ever modded Castlevania to put Johnny Test in it? Because, you know, like the whip crack. It's not quite the Johnny Test whip crack sound, but it's almost. Oh, this is badass. Look, this is so cool. We're fighting a stained glass knight. What? I'm gonna die though. I love how telegraphed the enemy attack patterns are. Da-na-na-na-na. Oscar says hi. Hello, Oscar. Game over. Oh, we got continues. It's all Gucci. And checkpoints. Well, looky here. If this were an NES game, it would have sent my ass back to the very beginning. Actually, Castlevania doesn't do that. Castlevania gives you infinite continues. One of the more forward-thinking NES games. Most NES games sent your ass back to the beginning of the game. Castlevania doesn't. You have infinite continues. Oh, that's such a cool boss battle. A stained glass portrait of a knight that shatters and comes to life. Castlevania is cool and this game is neat, says Oscar. That is so true. Been listening to Nas lately. Do you have any recommendations? In Nas's discography or hip-hop in general? My go-to hip-hop album, whenever anyone asks me, just in general, is usually Midnight Marauders by A Tribe Called Quest. In Nas's discography, an album that isn't Illmatic, I Am is really good. It has Nas's best song on it, in my opinion. Yeah, two hip-hop album recommendations. Trap House by Gucci Mane and Midnight Marauders, Tribe Called Quest. Two very different types of rap albums, but both very good. Two completely different ends of the hip-hop spectrum, but I think you'll like Midnight Marauders. That's an album that I can recommend to pretty much any human being on the planet. Everyone likes A Tribe Called Quest. Oh, get off of me! Somebody should make a Castlevania game based entirely off of those cereal mascots. The Monster Mash cereals. Yummy Mummy, Fruit Brute, Count Chocula, Boo Berry, Frankenberry. I want a Mummy cereal mascot video game, and I want it to play like Castlevania. The fish people. We're eating salmon tonight. I actually don't like salmon that much. I prefer tuna. When was the last time I heard a song and said, hey, that's where Streets of Rage got that sample? Streets of like Yuzo Koshiro? Are you sure that it didn't sample Streets of Rage? Because I don't think the Sega Genesis could sample anything. It was all FM synth. I don't think there, unlike the Super Nintendo, there were no sampling capabilities on the Genesis. I could be wrong about that, but Streets of Rage has an amazing soundtrack, by the way. Yuzo Koshiro is the friggin' man. Revenge of Shinobi on Sega Genesis is in my top 5 favorite video game soundtracks. It's up there with Chrono Trigger and Ridge Racer Type 4 and Sonic CD and Donkey Kong Country 2. A voice clip? Really? What is the sample? I didn't know you could even sample with the Sega Genesis FM chip. I'm just gonna hold on to the axe. I feel like the axe is the best item in this game. In NES Castlevania, it was the holy water because you can stun lock bosses with it, but next time I see the axe, I'm gonna try to hold on to it. It's 3 seconds in. Let me pull this up.
What? You're a disc jockey?
Huh.
What's that?
Mikey Dread come for conquer.
Like an old dub record.
Always nice to know that you heard this record first on the...
I freaking love reggae and dub. Barrington Levy is one of my favorite artists, but I feel like I can only listen to it during the summertime. If I listen to Keith Hudson or Barrington Levy or Bob Marley and the Wailers during any other season than the summertime, it feels sacrilegious.
Saturday night experience show. The Dread at the controls gives you the heaviest, the hardest, and the ultimate best in...
I love this shit. That's another album I recommend. Love the Life You Live by Barrington Levy. Great record. Yeah, I didn't know the Sega Genesis you could sample with the Yamaha FM synth chip thingamabob. Also, Flamingo, if you haven't listened to Illmatic in its entirety, that's Nas's best record. So definitely put that on your listening list. But I feel like you've already listened to the album. If you're listening to Nas anyway. Oh, you're gonna get water in your boots. There we go. We got the axe. We're holding on to it. Simon, these are your brand new Chanel boots. You're gonna get them soggy. Ow. See, this is why the axe is useful, because you can't aim up and down with your whip. You heard that in Florida while at a flea market. Blew your mind. That is so cool. It's Soggy Simon Thursday? This is a brand new holiday. I've never heard of Soggy Simon Thursdays. Thanks for the... Oh, Odyssey's great, yeah. Alwasta, that record is so chill. The production is incredible. Definitely listen to Alwasta by Odyssey. That's a big boy right there. Look at this dude. You know what I think? I think you're a big boy. Man, you could drop dead. Do I watch The Office? I was a huge... Oh god, that was a one-shot. I watched the entirety of The Office back in high school, and I was obsessed with it when I was in high school, and I haven't rewatched it other than the first 2 episodes since. I think it's because they took it off Netflix. Why does it look Cave Story? I was kind of thinking this dude looks like something out of Ghosts and Goblins. This guy's cool. Uh-oh, he's gonna do his big blast! That was a lot less overwhelming than I thought it was gonna be. It was very underwhelming. Yeah, that was the death knell for The Office for me personally. They took it off Netflix, and that's the only streaming service that I'm not giving any other streaming service any money. Everybody and their mother has their own streaming service, and they think that theirs is super duper special and you should subscribe to it, and it's a load of baloney. Back in the day, it used to be Netflix and Hulu. You picked one or the other, or maybe both. They were both reasonably priced back in the day. And now everyone has their own shitty streaming service. When things are going well, are they only whelming? I never thought about that. You're right, there's overwhelming and underwhelming. I don't know if there's just whelming. Darn. That was like an Ocarina of Time defeat animation. King Dodongo turning into a rock. It's Cable all over again. Yep. Everyone saw the success that Netflix and Hulu was having, and every company was like, yeah, I mean, there's 20 billion other streaming services out there vying for your money, but I'm gonna make my own. HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Tubi. When there was only 2, it was pretty cool. It was better than TV. You could watch whatever you wanted. You didn't have to wait for your favorite show to come on TV, right? Now it's just like there's so many, man. Too many streaming services. It makes me glad that Steam cornered the market for like the digital marketplace for gaming. Because now there's other digital gaming services and they all suck. Like Ubisoft, EA, other ones that I can't name off the dome because they're slipping my mind, but Steam is a great digital marketplace and a great service. And nobody wants to use nobody on the planet wants to use the Epic Games launcher because it sucks. Give me the bag of money. Do you think anyone in contemporary history has ever had a big bag of money with a dollar sign on it? Think of the classic bank robber. The mental image that comes to mind with a big bag with a dollar sign on it. You think anyone has ever unironically owned a big bag to store their money in and it has a dollar sign on it? And if so, I would like to meet that person, I think. Wouldn't be a Castlevania game without clock towers and gears. It's Castlevania special. Keeping the axe. I'm keeping the axe. I don't want the torch, don't want the holy cross, don't want the boomerang. I'm keeping the axe. That's what I'm talking about. This is, I can safely hit this knight from up here while he's down there because I got the axe. Hasta la vista, baby. Castlevania, baby. That's like almost the Johnny Test whip crack sound. It is so close to being the Johnny Test whip crack sound. Hit me with that church organ. The flea men in this game are much less agile than Castlevania on NES. The flea men in the NES Castlevania is like the most annoying enemy in the game because he's just jumping around all over the place. He's tweaking out. In this game, he's just kind of like slowly hopping towards you. I'm just now noticing that you kill the skeleton enemy, and then the ghost of the skeleton rises out from him and tries to attack you. That is awesome. Not that skeleton, though. It was the other skeleton enemy. See, look at that. You kill the skeleton, and then the ghost of the skeleton tries to attack you. Oh, that is great. He died from playing too many video games. Pour one out for this skeleton. Frankenstein's monster! This rocks! Oh, this is so cool. I don't know how I was supposed to dodge that one attack, but he's like 3 times faster than me. You hear the Johnny Test sound, right? It's so similar. I don't want to approach him. He's gonna kill me. Damn. Why doesn't Simon Belmont's clothes rip off the way Samus's does in Metroid? It's a bit of a that's a bit of a double standard. Well, we can't have the big buff Bara man running around. Oh, I gotta hit. Okay, I see what I have to do. That's tough to get over there, though. Like, I'm not fast enough, damn it. Hell yeah. His name isn't Arthur, and this isn't Ghosts and Goblins. That's true. Arthur can run around in his underwear. Not Simon. So are we going straight to Dracula, or is there going to be a fight with Death? Because Death, the fight with Death is another Castlevania staple. I wonder if I'm gonna have to bust out the pause buffering strat. Keeping the axe. Actually, with Dracula, the knife might be better, but no holy water, which is interesting. Arthur gets laid in cemeteries. Simon is monogamous. Arthur is cuffed to Princess Prin Prin, though. I don't think there's ever been any other princess in Ghosts and Goblins. It's the same blue-haired princess lady. So I believe Arthur is also monogamous. All right, Dracula. What do you got? Oh, he is so dripped out. Dripped up and draped out. That Castlevania Dracula swag. Can we all agree that Dracula Flow is the top 10 greatest internet videos of all time? Specifically Dracula Flow Part 3. I remember Doodle sending me that video when it only had like 5,000 views, and I'm so happy that video blew up. I'm so happy that Dracula Flow got popular because it is such a good video. Who's stronger? Arthur or Simon? Probably Simon. Arthur's ass can only take 2 hits and then he dies. Takes 1 hit, he loses his armor. Takes another hit, he loses his life. I figured out the pattern. Alright, his true form. That is so gangster. The way he... That was such a cool anime. Yo! Oh, this is awesome. Dracula's true form. Oh, it's the floating orb? I gotta hit the orb. This is the classic patented bullshit part of Castlevania where they're like, okay, it's time for you to lose. This is a very forgiving game. I've kind of been damage boosting through a lot of it. I don't even have to fight the first form of Drac. We just go straight to this form. This is a very, very forgiving Castlevania game. And you know what? I'm cool with that. When power scaling Mario, do we take into account his 2-hit mechanic from early games or health from later games? The Mario power scaling. I think Mario... Now that begs the question, which is the most powerful incarnation of Super Mario? Hey, Taldale, Bowo, welcome to the stream, guys. It was funny Googling this, reading the first paragraph on Wikipedia and went, oh, that's why it looks like Castlevania. Yeah, it's a Castlevania game. Nowhere in name, it's just called Haunted Castle. But this is a remaster of this game, exclusive to the Castlevania Dominus collection. It is the first new classic Castlevania-style game since Castlevania Adventure Rebirth on the WiiWare service, Wii Virtual Console, WiiWare, whatever it was called. And Konami did not market this at all. It is a brand new, sort of brand new. It's a remake of an arcade game, but it's a new Castlevania classic, vintage classic Vania game. And I literally just found out about this. Pretty crazy. They did not do a good job of marketing this. You can only play it if you get the Dominus collection. I would say it's worth it for this game alone, though. Okay, that attack is easy to dodge. That attack... Okay, I'm learning. Hands, you gotta jump over them. Laser beam, you gotta duck. Bats, you can probably kill them with your whip. I'm learning. I'm taking a lot of damage, but I'm learning the patterns. So there's the laser beam, the fire attack, the bat attack, and the hands. And I think it's telegraphed the same way every time, like the head. Duck. Flames. Bats. I don't know how to dodge the bats. I tried to duck. I wasn't fast enough. Yeah, the bats are tricky because they come out super quick. Dar.
Hello, ma'am. I have saved you.
Yeah, what is the strongest incarnation of Super Mario? That's a good question. It's probably one of the Mario RPGs, because he's doing, like, crazy damage. He's doing crazy damage to, like, boss fights and enemies in those games. He's fighting God and shit. Because it's an RPG. Everyone knows every RPG. The protagonist has to kill God. That was really good. That was really, really good. I wonder if there's a higher difficulty. Boss rush mode. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I kind of wish it was a bit harder, because I got complacent and started damage boosting a lot. Oh, there is a difficulty setting. I wonder what hard mode entails. I might play that on my own. This was really good. Konami, please make more Castlevania games, please. I like the Metroidvanias as much as the next guy, but I'm kind of a boomer. I'm kind of an old head. I like the old school style Castlevania. Now let's peep out the original Haunted Castle. This game is apparently really bad. Let's see how bad it is. Rewind? No rewinds. We're not doing that. Use or export this video game. Oh, we got the FBI notice. You wouldn't download a car, would you? Okay, so this is the arcade original Haunted Castle. I'm probably not gonna beat it. But I want to see what we got. I want to see how bad this apparently is. He walks like he's holding in a shit. Yeah, that's what IT Right said in chat. He's got a tummy ache. Believe it or not, this is somehow even more stiff than NES Castlevania. But in NES Castlevania, it's stiff, but it's not bad, right? The stiff controls are part of the gameplay loop. This just feels immediately right out the gate. It does not feel very good. There's like a delay to my walk. I press in on the D-pad, and then a half second later, he moves. I don't know if that's emulation input delay or if the original game was like that, though. I would download a car? Are you kidding? Yeah, me too. You wouldn't download a car? Yes I would. Are you kidding me? Of course I would. Am I fighting the wall? There's no boss music. Oh man, this feels really bad to play. But again, I don't know if that's input delay because of the emulation or what. It's entirely possible the original game controlled like this. Yeah, I think that was probably in the original game, that black block that was in the background. There's a lot of arcade games that, from the 80s at least, push the envelope with the graphics and occasionally have weird graphical glitches. Splatterhouse has the same thing, and that was 1988, and I think this is older. I think this is 87. I like the sound effects, though. That hit effect when you land a hit on the zombie, it's that anime, like, sound. I don't know how to describe it, but, like, You hear it, right? That Dragon Ball Z ass sound effect. I'm scared to go up on this. Oh, there we go. I gotta press up like it. I kind of forgot this was a Castlevania game. Arcade physics designed to steal coins. Yeah. But the thing is, like Splatterhouse, which I gas up all the time because it's my favorite horror video game. Splatterhouse controls like a dream. And that was a year after this, so it was around the same time frame. I want to beat at least the first 2 levels. I want to point out the revisited portion of the game, like, had 0 input delay. It felt great. So that leads me to believe that the stiffness of the controls and the input delay is probably how the original arcade game performed. See, the story of this game, you would think that it's about saving your bride because of that intro cutscene, right? It's not. Simon just has to go to the bathroom and we gotta find a restroom for him. It's that sort of narrative unfolding storytelling of show, don't tell. Haunted Castle is actually a video game cinematic masterpiece. I love that anime slash sound effect. How would you describe that sound? It's like that anime sword slash shit. The Kirby games use that sound effect a lot. Alright, Medusa. Medusa, I'm here. Medusa! Hello? Medusa! Oh, there she is. Ah! Splatterhouse is a really hard game, but Splatterhouse is totally fair. Like, it's doable. I actually compare Splatterhouse to Castlevania a lot, in that they're both games that can be mastered in spite of their difficulty. But I'm also kind of a big Splatterhouse fanboy. Yeah, these controls, man, this is stiff. Speaking of Splatterhouse, we're gonna play Splatterhouse 2 soon. Probably this weekend. Let me beat Medusa. I want to beat Medusa, and then we can move on to the other game we're gonna do tonight. But yeah, that remake, Haunted Castle Revisited, I would say it's worth it to pick up the Dominus collection for that alone. That was a really fun Castlevania gameplay experience. Maybe wait for it to go on sale. It might be on sale right now still. But a brand new Castlevania experience in lieu of the original games, that's not very common nowadays. I can't even get to the Medusa fight with half health because these freaking bats. They should have put Rick Taylor in Smash Brothers, that's all I'm saying. Imagine Rick Taylor versus Super Mario, and he's equipped with the 2x4 and the shotgun. Yeah, this is one of those games designed to suck down quarters, huh? But not in a fun way. Like, if I'm playing Defender or NBA Jam or like any arcade game designed to suck down quarters, which was most of them, I'm like, let's go. I'm getting ripped off here. You know, this game is sucking down my money like a vacuum, but it's fun. This isn't very fun, but it is cool that they included it with the remake. For the sake of preservation, I'm always saying how video game companies need to re-release their legacy content on modern systems. Video game preservation is important, and if these companies want to curb emulation, then they need to do cool stuff like this. That being said, I do kind of wish that this was its own thing, and it wasn't tied to the Dominus collection. These games are good. You know, it's your typical Metroidvania. I think these are the DS games. I know Dawn of Sorrow is. And Dawn of Sorrow has Soma Cruz, who is one of my favorite character designs ever. I think Soma is so freaking cool looking. But I do kind of wish that this was released digitally on its own for like $5 or $10. Again, I didn't even know it existed until one of my friends told me about it. Got some concept art. I don't think this was illustrated by Ayami Kojima. I do want to pull that up, actually, before we switch over to the next game. I want to pull up the Japanese Simon Belmont. Okay. Where is he? Where is he? Hey, Oscar, what's happening? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between American and Japanese Simon Belmont. I love them both. They're both great. They're both great. American He-Man Simon Belmont will always be my favorite, but can I get a JPEG? Do I look like I know what an AVIF file is? I just want to download a picture of a hot dog. I love how JPEGs and PNGs just don't exist anymore. It's these fake file formats that don't exist. Like WebM, WebP. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Okay. Here is American He-Man Simon Belmont. Oh, he rocks. Oh, it's awesome. It's 80s. It is high fantasy. It is cheesy. Oh, this is badass. To me, whenever I think of Simon Belmont, I think of this incarnation of him. Are you guys ready for the Japanese depiction of Simon Belmont by Ayami Kojima? Yeah, talk about night and day. I love them both. They're both amazing. The Japanese art has this ephemeral, otherworldly beauty to him. It looks like something out of a Renaissance painting, right? It is a masterpiece. I love this. And Ayami Kojima, look up her artwork. Her artwork for the Castlevania games is impeccable. It's so good. In spite of that, this is my Simon. Beef McChunk steak, like big ass thunder thighs, muscular. Like this is my Simon Belmont. I don't know if the art I'm about to pull up is also Ayami Kojima. It looks like a blend of Japanese and North American Simon. I'm not sure who did this illustration. It's not fan art. This is an official illustration, but I'm not sure who did it. But this is really good too. It's like a nice in-between of the Japanese and American sensibilities. And then finally, who here remembers Castlevania Judgment for the Wii? The Castlevania fighting game. Illustrated by the illustrator of Death Note. Most people clown on this version of Simon Belmont and say he looks like Light Yagami from Death Note, which he does. I'm gonna go to bat for this design because this is the rawest shit I've ever seen in my life. This goes hard. Like, everyone has clowned on this design. Maybe this is an L opinion. I love it. I love this version of Simon Belmont. Yes, he looks like Light Yagami. He looks like a SoundCloud rapper. He's got a freaking neck tattoo. But it rocks. Oh, it rocks. It kicks ass. Oh, it kicks ass. Of all of these Simon Belmonts, though, this is my favorite. To me, this will always be Simon Belmont. So So what have we learned here, chat? We have learned that there are many incarnations of our boy Simon. And all of them are good. Amen.